Welcome to episode 24 of The Leap Home. Her charm.
In this week's episode, Sam must protect the life of a woman in witness protection by keeping her safe from her former employer, who evaded serious charges and is now out to kill her. When a revelation means Sam can no longer be trusted, a dramatic end to the pursuit seems inevitable. But can he do the right thing, or will he find himself in an impossible situation?
Let's move it, Miss Behringer, huh?
Good evening, Harry.
I'm not too bad, you pervert. If there was one of us, it's going to be you, isn't it?
Not necessarily, no.
The listeners know.
Listen, don't you start or I'll leave in the unedited versions of these podcasts. We'll see who's the pervert.
I'll start putting outtakes up on the website.
And Patreon.
I thought it was quite a clever twist in this episode.
It was, yeah. There was the obvious direction it was going in.
And they kind of subverted it a wee bit.
They did. However, what wasn't subverted and what was obvious was Sam's behaviour again.
Yeah, I've written down here Sam being very, very Sam.
Yeah.
There's no other word for it. He just can't help himself. Every week we're into this.
He does need some ethics training.
Yeah, Al just needs to take him aside.
Al?
And say, look, here's the rules. I mean, it was Al at the start was telling him the rules, and he's kind of stopped doing it. And he says, look, for your next sleep, I'm just going to be with you the whole time, and here's what you have to do.
Although I think Al would encourage that sort of behaviour.
Well, that's the problem. The two of them seem to have no regulation.
Oh. So Al should be getting pulled up by Goucher and the rest of them.
I mean, I assume Al has to write up a report after every leap.
But he'll just stop by the basics.
Yeah, he won't include any of the extracurricular detail. Let's go through the social media stuff in rapid fire fashion this week.
Start with a Snapchat.
Okay, that's that done. And Instagram and Twitter, we are at Leap Home Podcast. We're at The Leap Home on Facebook. Website with show notes is theleaphome.com. And if you could go to Columbo Podcast Productions on YouTube, you'll get each episode 1 week early and be ahead of everybody else, like all the cool kids. And you can subscribe there, leave your thoughts, your comments, and if you hit the bell, you'll even be notified when the episode appears.
I would like to remind people, however, that Twitter is still a platform where we encourage people to interact.
Well, it's the one you've got on your phone.
Yeah.
And leave your reviews, as ever, preferably on Apple Podcasts, but whatever podcast platform lets you.
Of course.
Shall we dig into this episode?
Let's crack on.
For once, it's a identical introduction to the week before.
Yeah, we start with the new female explanatory voice before we join Sam ringing a bell of a suburban house, dressed in an overcoat and dark glasses.
A woman answers and for some reason says, "Oh no, not you."
Yeah, I think that's obviously a sign of things to come or attitudes to come.
Yeah, I don't understand what she thinks is happening here, given what happens later. Is she not expecting him? Or does she expect him individually?
Yes, specifically, okay. Yes. She's hoping it'll be another agent.
Maybe Agent Thomas, who we see later.
Okay.
Anyhow, she tells Sam not to think, it'll get them into trouble, and goes to get her suitcases. He's acting a little bit dopey at this stage, as if he's no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, we should say this is a woman in her 30s, early 30s?
Yeah, probably early 30s, to be fair.
Although, yeah, she probably is in her early 30s, but the way she's dressed and her styling makes her look older.
The styling doesn't really seem in time for the episode. Like it's meant to be 73, and she's dressed like it's 1985 or 86, something like that. That's really specific, but just the 80s in general.
She's quite hot, though.
Yeah, she looks right.
But obnoxious.
She has a significant fringe going on. Anyhow, she returns and asks Sam if he's brought a car. That's a stupid question.
Yeah, did you say she's got her suitcase now?
She now does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a very brief time skip there, isn't there?
I mean, why would you assume that he's not got a car?
Well, I think she's just, because he's not said anything.
But how did he get there? He's not walking.
Exactly. But he's just standing there like a dummy, not responding to anything. So she's kind of drawing this out. She goes over to the car, that's obviously Sam's car.
Yeah, she blames herself. I think she refers to herself as Dana.
Or Dana, yeah.
Dana, yeah.
Too, yeah. She said she's got an ice cube's chance in hell of getting out of this.
Yeah, whatever predicament she appears to be in. So inside the car, they look around.
Yeah, Sam checks out his new identity in the wing mirror, which leads to a sarcastic comment.
Yeah, his name is Peter, we find out from her. And yeah, what does she say? You're not that cute.
Didn't anyone tell you that men aren't supposed to be so vain? And Sam finally speaks, turns around and says, "Didn't anyone tell you it's not nice to be rude and pushy?"
Yeah, now, her attitude, it reminded me very much of Willie from Indiana Jones. I think she's this type of character.
Not a popular character.
No. I think she's generally despised by the Indiana Jones fan community.
Is there an Indiana Jones fan community?
I'm sure there is, yeah.
They're all getting on a bit now, though.
They will be, but they won't get any less grumpy then. Yeah, no, that's a character. That's the sort of the sidekick, which is just really irritating.
Overbearing.
Overbearing, yeah.
She tells Sam at this point she doesn't want to be nice. She wants to get the hell out of there while he still can, but he can't find the car keys.
Yeah, so understandably irritated, she tells him that he left him under the car seat the last time, and as he leans forward, he accidentally or deliberately checks out her legs a little bit, but has no luck.
Yeah, but she joins him under the dashboard, and just then there's basically a drive-by shooting takes place on their vehicle. Yes, it's the car is covered in rounds from a submachine gun. But they somehow all miss. Well, not all, but mostly miss. I think the bullets all miss. I think it's just glass that injures them.
Sure. And she demands that, as the FBI agent, it's up to him to do something, and we get an oh boy.
And then we get the credits, and we return to suburbia and are told that it's the 26th of September, 1973, and we get a slow motion shot as this shooter, who we learn is called Nick, approaches the vehicle on foot.
Yeah, he's got a maniacal grin as he attempts to finish off the job, but Sam manages to reverse the car into the assailant or assailants and makes a getaway.
Yes, and in the process damages their car so they can't immediately follow.
And when neighbours appear at their doors to see what is happening, this crazy guy, he sprays bullets all over the street.
Yeah.
And once again shoots at the houses as they drive away. He's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and the guy driving him, who we later learn is called Andy.
Is it? I keep referring to him as the sidekick or the henchman. But you think it might be his brother?
Well, he refers to him as brother. Whether he's actually his biological brother or it's just a term of endearment, I don't know. But given the relationship that we see between them, it could well be.
There's certainly a closeness.
Yeah, there's something between them. Anyhow, he tells him that was real cute in a sort of sarcastic manner. I don't think he was very impressed with the houses being riddled with bullets.
No, because he's a sensible sort of gangster.
He's at least moderate. Yeah, he's happy to drive him to shoot people, but
yeah, we don't want to attract attention. I mean, if you start killing random people in the streets, the full force of the full weight of law and an order will be.
Yeah, the folk who overlook you killing bad guys are probably not going to overlook you just shooting random neighbours.
No. Anyhow, we're on the road.
Yes, Sam and Dana continue their escape, but they're both now bleeding from the face.
Yeah, they're minus all the glass in their car.
Yes, it's quite a comprehensive job that's been done.
She is moaning that they could have been killed. Yeah,
but he points out that they weren't killed.
Yeah, down to his driving, which was decent.
Yeah, but she thinks it's no thanks to him and asks to see Agent Richardson.
I think he must be the boss, or certainly Sam's boss in this.
Well, she defines him as the idiot who assigned my life to you. Sam tells her to calm down, which always works.
Yeah, you always tell women to calm down. Come on, love.
I've never had any difficulties with that.
No. Don't get all stressed. Relax. Everything will be okay. We'll work it out.
And as a reasonable person, she calms down.
Yeah, she eventually shuts up by fainting when she sees that she has been cut.
Yes. She wants to go to the federal building, but Sam insists they have to stop by a hospital first.
Yeah, we hear that in a voiceover. Sam tells us this. And then we find ourselves at the federal building. I think 2 hours have passed.
Yeah, Sam says, like you said in a voiceover, that he had 2 hours in the ER to work out where he was meant to go and what's going on.
And he hopes that Dana will be assigned to someone else. However, as he sees himself in the mirror as a good-looking man, he apologises and concedes that experience has taught him that he will end up stuck with the situation. Well, of course he will. That's why he's here.
Yeah, he has to fix what's wrong. Yeah. Al approaches and says that Sam looks like he's been in a fight with a wild cat.
Yeah, he's not happy of Al sneaking up on him with his... do you like his red fedora?
Indeed. He's had that before, I think, but it's very smart.
Yeah.
Sam says it's very rude to sneak up on folk without even having a reflection.
But Sam is not interested. He's no time for any nonsense and he wants to know why he is there.
Okay, let's see. Dana Berenger, 32 years old, divorced, no children, one-time personal secretary to a certain Nick Kochifus.
Kochifus families in shipping. Why would I remember that?
Yeah, and Nick uses that to smuggle everything from illegal aliens to drugs.
Yeah, but he's dead, right? I mean, didn't some Colombian drug lord shoot him or something?
Yeah, but unfortunately that doesn't happen for another 3 years, till 1976. And in the meantime, he kills Dana. She used to be a stenographer in Nick's Miami office, but then he took a liking to her and made her his personal secretary. But he was a little careless about what he let her see and hear, and he didn't take into account that she was a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, well, who would?
Well, when she realized what kind of man she was working for, she went to the Justice Department with what she knew. And she gave him enough to put Kochifus away for life.
He broke out of prison?
No, he never went to prison. He must have bought off the jury because they found him not guilty. That was a year ago, and in the meantime, she's been on the witness protection program. She changed her identity twice, but Nick found her twice.
So what? Third time is his charm?
He kills her at 3:18 this afternoon.
So we've established there that Dana deserves it. She's a snitch, a grass.
Yeah, the snitches get stitches.
That's what they say.
Did you enjoy the picture of Richard Nixon on Sam's desk?
I didn't notice it, was there?
I think all FBI agents have a picture of the president.
Yeah.
And he would have been president at that time, I believe. We go through to Sam's colleague Richardson's office.
Where we see it as 10:45 a.m. and here...
Almost 10:45 a.m.
Well, yeah, okay. We hear an angry Dana complain that she was promised Nicky would be put away and demands better protection. I think she's got a point here. Twice she's been in witness protection.
Yeah.
And twice he's found her.
Yeah.
That's near impossible.
Yeah, he's got an inside guy though.
Yeah, but even then, that's the whole point of witness protection.
It should be somebody different that gets the...
Yeah, witness protection is sort of the best of the best, or the most discreet of the most discreet.
It shouldn't be regional as well. It should be some other part of the country.
And if she is discovered once, then you have to look at who had that information. It shouldn't be happening twice.
No, that would ring alarm bells, you would think.
Of course.
Richardson's quite phlegmatic about the whole thing. He says that he can't help that a jury found the guy innocent. And she explains that she only survived when she was in New Orleans by jumping into an alligator-infested bayou.
Also, Richardson, he blames her for getting involved with...
Yeah, and we learn later on it's not so much that she grassed him up, but the fact that he thinks she was probably involved in this stuff before she turned on him.
Yeah. Obviously, at this point, we are meant to think that Richardson is involved.
Shady, yeah. But Dana doesn't think so. She wants someone other than Sam assigned to her, but Richardson tells her that Peter Langley is one of the finest agents in the department, which she says means they're in deep trouble.
However, she rightly demands not to be treated like the criminal and sinks into a chair as she sighs that this is all like a bad dream. And I think that's, throughout this episode, they do victim blame her.
Yeah, she gets told that 27 months is a long time to wear blinders. So he's also not buying that she wasn't involved.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's not that long a time, is it? I mean, you don't necessarily employ someone and immediately
tell them all your secrets.
Yeah, this is, you know, this you get complacent over time. So it might have been like a year before he starts to
leave things lying around.
Yeah, and even then it won't be like, this is my master plan. It'll be little bits and bobs.
For their evil plan.
Yes, I think. And then of course she has to accept that this is what he's doing. She then has to internalise it and just come up with the
and gather enough evidence as well.
Gather enough evidence. Yeah, so 27 months I think's not a long time at all to do what she's done. Although she shouldn't have done it because she's a grass.
Yeah. Back through in Sam's office, he's talking to Al when Dana comes in and asks whether he only talks to himself when he's in over his head.
And of course, Al, his first reaction is that she's a bit of a beauty.
So does Ziggy not give him any images? Is it only text?
Oh, you don't give Al images of anything. Who knows what would happen there?
Dana objects to Sam, who doesn't respond at this point because he's willing to talk to himself but not to her. She says her ex-husband was like that.
Yeah. She is followed in by Richardson, who informs them that her new ID and location will be ready in 2 days, and until then, she's to go to a safe house in Baltimore with Sam.
She's not happy with that idea.
No, she initially refuses, but reluctantly has to accept it when told that she will be on her own otherwise. I mean, Richardson might not be the inside man, but he's a scumbag.
Yeah, he's not a nice guy.
No, he's got zero sympathy here. I mean, she's doing him a massive favour. And even if here's the thing, even if she was in a relationship, she still made a decision at some point.
Yeah, to turn.
If she knew about it. So you should be very, very grateful.
Yeah.
This guy is, as we've seen, is crazy. So even if you do know, that happens all the time. Like, there's plenty of, if you think about all the criminals, even bank robbers, normal sort of standard criminals, they've got like wives who know probably what they're up to, that they're criminals, but they don't say anything because they're in fear of their life a lot of the time.
Potentially, yeah.
And you've got, a lot of time they've got kids and things like that they can't risk.
Out in the corridor, Dana stormed out of that office and Sam follows, asking where she's going. Yeah,
she tells him that it's the bathroom, if he wants to go there with her as well. And just like Al Richardson, he has noted her physical attributes as well.
Yeah, he implies that Sam's job would be less enjoyable if she was short, fat and ugly. I mean, that's a bit superficial.
It is. However, he didn't know, but he's right. I mean, we see what Sam's up to here.
Yeah, of course.
On the street.
Oh, come on, this is ridiculous.
It's nonsense, isn't it? Nicky has been told by his sidekick that she's not worth it, as they sit right outside the FBI headquarters
with their gun in their lap.
With a machine gun.
Yeah.
In the same car that they used to try and kill a witness and an agent.
Yes. No fear.
It doesn't matter that they've got an inside contact. Not everyone's an inside contact.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Even anyone, a local cop walking by, would notice him and his machine gun.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he says here they did everything right, including getting him inside man, but twice it hasn't worked. So the sidekick, Andy, tells him that God doesn't want this woman to die.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He wants her dead, and he's more important than what... that's more important than what God wants.
Right, overruled.
Back in the FBI in the corridor, Sam walks with Richardson.
I enjoyed this scene.
Yes, it was nice. An agitated Al informs Sam that Dana's body is found in a river near Baltimore, where they're going.
Chesapeake Bay.
Who else died in the river in Chesapeake? No one, I'm thinking of.
Can you think of Chappaquiddick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam asks Richardson why Kochifus wants Dana when he's already been acquitted.
Now, firstly, Sam as Peter should know this.
Yes.
But he's told that Nick, first name terms, would never let a snitch get away with doing that, especially a woman. I'm not sure why especially a woman.
Yeah, I know.
Does that make? No. I mean, maybe more
so
understandable.
Pride or something. Anyhow, Sam asks, or thinks he's twigged something here and asks if Richardson knows Nick.
That's because of the use of first name term.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Al's standing behind him asking why he's ignoring him. What does he want him to do? Just turn around and talk to him?
Yeah.
Anyhow, Richardson explains that he almost had Nick on a conspiracy charge at one stage, so he knows him a little bit.
Yeah, but Al is more interested in the fast approaching demise of Dana rather than the conspiracies.
Indeed, and as we heard at the top of the show, Richardson opens the door to the ladies' room and shouts on Dana, who replies that he is a pervert.
And he then promises his next assignment will be more run-of-the-mill, advising him to go and see if the laundry truck is ready.
The laundry truck being the vehicle they're going to use to transport Dana to the...
Now, I'm not sure if that makes...
It's coming out of the FBI building.
Yeah.
It's not like it's really going to be that.
No. Because a laundry truck would be used if you were trying to get someone out of prison or some other big building. But when you're on the road, a car or just even a normal truck,
like if you don't know which car you're in,
yeah, or a truck that someone could sit in the back, but you don't need laundry. You're not going somewhere. It's not
the only thing would be if they think that the building's being watched. Mm-hmm. It might make sense that they would ignore a laundry truck because it's just doing laundry.
Right. Yeah.
If it comes at the same time every day.
Potentially, yeah. But then a laundry truck on that journey.
Yeah.
Seems a bit of your normal route.
It just makes me think of the bin lorries in Die Hard 3.
Okay. It made me think of how Sandy and Annie how they escaped from the orphanage in Annie.
Right. It's also a little bit Shawshank with the laundry being how they get the stuff in and out.
Sure.
Anyhow, Richardson says to Sam that there's only the two of them that know where he's taking her, so if there's a leak, it's either him or it's you.
So, of course, again, we are meant to believe that it's Richardson, aren't we?
Well, I've written that clearly, it's Richardson.
Clearly, only a fool would not see
What
this.
kind of idiot would not have picked this by now?
And this causes Al to do a double take.
Yeah, because obviously he now thinks it's Richardson.
And as Sam walks off, he has a go at him for not communicating with him. But I mean, what are you talking about?
Exactly. What did he want him to do? So Sam says he's heard every word that he said, but he was trying to get information, and Al's ranting was breaking his concentration.
And at this point, he notices a sign letting him know that they are in Boston. Surely there'd be Boston accents.
Well, you would have thought so. There wasn't a single one.
No. And this apparently stirs a memory.
Yes, and Al's able to confirm that he did used to live in Boston. He went through 4 years of MIT in just 2. He was the youngest person ever to graduate something or other.
Now, I have all the years watching American movies where they talk about this. Oh, you're part of the Chi Phi type fraternity in the Summa Cum. I have no idea what
They're
it
two
is.
different things. So
Is it?
Cum Sum Laude or whatever is to do with your top of your year.
Is that like, your honours? So you're 2-1
No,
and
it's
2-2.
literally one person gets it.
Oh, okay.
There's the top person's like, I don't even know, valedictorian.
Yeah.
And then the second, I don't even understand the system. I don't think MIT uses that system.
Do they not?
From what I've read.
Right, what's the Taya Paya Kaya and all
So
that?
the fraternities just use these Greek letters to identify themselves. That's a different thing.
Right.
Like Beta Kappa Phi or whatever, yeah.
Okay.
You should watch Monsters University. It's quite good. Full of fraternities.
I'll do that.
Okay, in the lift, Sam remembers that there's an alternative place he could go.
Yeah, he recalls that he spent his weekends near a lake and trees at Professor Negro's cabin, and he decides therefore that he will take Dana there rather than Baltimore, which seems to delight Al.
Well, it delights Al because Al realises that Sam was listening to what he was telling him,
Right.
and that she gets murdered on the way to Baltimore, so they have to go somewhere else. I want to complain about this though.
What?
Sam bringing his real life into this again. It's a cabin that Sam knows.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be mixing that up with some other guy's
No.
life.
I mean, we end up in a situation where she's looking at pictures of him.
Yes, and he doesn't even know the cabin's going to be available or vacant or still there or anything.
If this professor used to let him, as one of his star pupils, use it all the time on the weekends, surely
Likely someone's going to be there.
yeah, the current star pupil.
Yeah. Anyway, on the road, we see the laundry truck leaving the agency, but is immediately clocked by Nick and Andy.
Yeah, they confirm that there's an insider informant and he was correct.
He's warned not to shoot up the van in the city, but he says it's okay to be a little obsessed because that gives you an edge.
Wait a second. I was going to say, Sam hasn't been the informant this time, but
He's tipped him off before he's leaped, so he's said in the morning that if this doesn't go to plan B is
yeah.
we're going to safe house in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's got his gun out already.
Yes. Just waiting for it to follow them.
But the sidekick tells him to put it down and don't do it in the city, as we see them follow the truck towards the Massachusetts Turnpike.
Indeed. What's a turnpike?
A toll road. Traditionally, it was a toll road.
Okay.
I'm not.
So it's not a type of junction or anything like that?
No.
Okay. We then see a wooded area and the van crossing a long bridge.
Yeah, we get quite a scenic shot as we rejoin them, and Sam looks at his watch, where he is relieved to see that Al's deadline for murder has passed, as it is now 8 minutes past 4.
But he doesn't leap.
No, he hopes with little conviction that he'll simply, that'll be it. Now, we have to say, this logic, I think we might have hinted at it or briefly mentioned it in the past or recently, this logic must now be consistent through every episode.
Yeah, because there's other episodes where they've said, you just need to keep him alive past that time.
Yeah.
And that has been the case.
Uh-huh.
Whereas in this one, it's not enough.
I'm thinking of things like Jesse or situations that are more to do with attitude. So you can stop someone from being killed or having an accident. You go
In one moment.
But if you're trying to prevent a black man in the South being harassed, beaten, and murdered, you can't change attitudes just by
avoiding a single incident.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we see Andy and Nick following at some distance.
And we find that Dana, she is asleep in the back of this. She's lying on the laundry bags. Before she wakes up, and her first thought is to complain and moan about not stopping for gas.
Yes.
She just can't help herself.
It's just instinctive, has to be. Wake up, angry, complain.
However, after she settles, we hear her for the first time be thankful for his actions, although she has to add that they would be dead if it wasn't for her.
Sam proposes that they call it a team effort, and she reluctantly agrees.
Yeah, he asks her about why she is always angry, and after they both argue about who almost got who killed, they settle down, and for the first time she opens up to him.
Look, this doesn't have anything to do with you personally. It's just I hate being a fool.
Are you a fool?
When I was 9, I won that for a paper I wrote about crime and citizen responsibility. I pulled it out of a box and I wore it all through Nick's trial. I wore it to remind myself that I was making a difference. I was doing my duty as a citizen, as a human being. And then they acquitted him. That is why I feel like a fool.
What you did was very courageous.
No, what I did was stupid, and I'm probably gonna get killed because of it. And even if I don't, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life pretending to be somebody else.
I know that feeling. But Dana, this can't go on forever. Men like Nick have enemies. I mean, it's just a matter of time before he ends up in jail again, or ends up dead.
Until then, every morning I wake up, I'm gonna wonder, does he know who I am? Does he know where I am?
I won't let him touch you, Dana.
Sam's not in a position to keep that promise he just made.
Of course he's not. Never stops him. He doesn't think about the actual person, the life.
It comes spilling out of him without even thinking.
Says whatever he wants. A couple of things as well. We should note that what she was talking about there was a charm, a little bracelet that she was
Title of the
given.
episode's coming from that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if at 9-year-old it would fit when you're an adult.
Maybe it was too big when she was 9.
Yeah, possibly.
We can only assume.
And also, I'm not sure what her logic, her thinking was when she snitched, when she grassed up. Even if he went to prison, she would still have to be in witness protection.
You would think so,
because he can easily put like a hit out. And that's the thing. I don't understand this guy. That's what he should be doing. Why the hell is he personally running about with a machine gun?
He's small time.
Must be.
Yeah. He's got an ego that's bigger than his means.
Yeah. Any self-respecting sort of gangster criminal would be paying hitmen for this.
Yeah, he'd be sent at home not committing any crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back at Richardson's office, we see an agent Thomas come in to report that Sam and Dana have failed to reach the safe house. So how has that happened when only 2 people know where the safe house is?
Well, you meant to think then that this new agent might be the insider.
That could be. Anyhow, they're 2 hours overdue, and Richardson asks about the traffic.
Yeah, he also laments that he didn't put an escort car on them and orders an APB to be put out.
Well, that would mean that another 2 people know where the safe... This just doesn't add up. If only 2 people know where it is, where's the escort car is going to go? Where are we going?
Not only that, but all police captains en route to the Baltimore have to be informed.
That kind of gives it away as well.
Look out for my witness.
My laundry van. Don't ask her name.
No, we said it was a her. Right, forget that. Could be a him.
Back on the road, Dana suddenly realises that they're not going to Baltimore after all.
Yeah. Also, what we should say, at the end of the previous scene, we see him, Thomas goes out and he looks either concerned or guilty.
Yeah, shady.
Yeah, so where are we? So we're on the road.
Dana's realised that they're not heading to Baltimore,
but seems to accept very quickly and easily his decision to go rogue. Surely at this point she's worried that he is the bad guy.
Yeah, because she's been going on about how incompetent he is. It's like, he keeps almost getting me killed. That's very confusing.
And now he's just decided
someone's a bad guy.
To take me somewhere else. It's like, this is like...
You'd be terrified.
This is the cliche from every movie. You know, you get in a taxi or you're with a cop and you go, wait a second. Or you get picked up.
Yeah, we're not going where I thought we were going.
Yeah, you get picked up, you're doing a bit of hitchhiking, and yeah, sure, I'll take you to town. Wait a second, this isn't the way to town. Shut up.
He doesn't even say, like, I don't trust Richardson, which would be, like, a good cover.
Yeah.
But for some reason she buys his lame excuse.
Because she fancies him.
Probably.
At the same time, the sidekick appears to have worked out the change in plans, as well as Nicky, and they decide that now is the time. This is the scene I was referring to. What follows are two of the most nonsensical, ridiculous decisions I've ever witnessed on TV.
Which was the first?
Okay. Rather than quickly pull up and shoot out the tyres, or quickly overtake and then shoot out the engine to bring this thing to a stop, what he does is Nicky drives up beside and waves his gun so they know he's there and he's got a gun. Then he drops back behind a huge laundry van and just starts spraying the back door with bullets.
Yeah.
Like, what's that meant? You just got to run out of bullets. All he had to do was quickly overtake, lean back and shoot the engine. You've then disabled the vehicle. You can get out at your leisure and murder them.
The tyres would be a sensible one as well, because you can see the tyres. You know, you might miss the right bit of the engine or whatever. But
sure. But you certainly don't do what he did there.
No, it doesn't make much sense.
I'm not an experienced hitman, but I know that's wrong.
I also think that opening those back doors is a poor choice.
So let me get to that. So they are being riddled with bullets, but they're perfectly safe because they're at the front. And a huge truck compared to the car, they can easily just stop it, prevent it now from overtaking.
Yep.
They could hit the brakes, reverse, they could bully that car.
Yep.
But what they decide to do, and Sam, is this Sam's plan, I think?
Yes.
Is to get her, the witness, the one who's...
It has to be dead.
The one that has to be dead, to fling open, and bear in mind they're on a windy sort of...
stand on the edge of a...
Open up,
van.
Right? Frame yourself in these doors
In front of the guy with the gun.
in front of a guy with a machine gun who only moments earlier had been easily spraying that area, spraying the back door.
Yes.
And then spend several seconds, 30 seconds, throwing bags of soft clothes.
Oh no, don't throw soft clothes at me.
She should be dead.
Yeah.
Sam should be dead as well, probably, because, this is terrible. What hell is going on here?
Who knows? But the plan works. Somehow they swerve off the road and Dana and Sam get away, and she gives him a big hug saying that they did it, before adding, no thanks to you. Nick and Andy's car's not damaged, but they've lost time. However, Nick has a backup plan.
Yeah, he is not that concerned about losing them.
No, he's got an FBI tracker with a signal on their van, so they can follow from a distance again.
The tracker was a little bit the sort of technology from Goldfinger.
I don't understand how it would work unless every road was dead straight and went exactly to
all
where
you
its
see is a light
destination was.
beeping on them.
Oh, he's forward and to the right. I must turn right.
That's what I'm saying. Have you seen Goldfinger? Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a tracker on that as well, but it gave you no information. It's like the worst sat-nav ever.
Yeah.
I mean, even with modern sat-navs, the best of the best, sometimes you miss you go, I should have turned right there, and you miss it, and that's you with a 3D map of and a street name.
They're at 43 degrees. The road doesn't go at 43 degrees.
Yeah. Oh, dead end.
My sat-nav started talking to me in a Scottish accent.
Why? Yeah,
it's quite disturbing. He says, hey, hang on left, pal.
Oh, that's terrible. I use Waze these days.
Yes, Waze that I'm using.
Yeah, I've messed about. I had Christina Aguilera on the other day. I had Boy George. I had Paw Patrol.
Right. I'll put it on Jim the Scottish guy.
No. I've got it set to the Australian guy. It's quite relaxing.
Okay.
Oh, and have you used the aerobics instructor? That's quite good.
They give you tips.
You press your brake to extend your calf and all that type of stuff. That's it. Good work.
That's ridiculous.
Probably encourage you to go faster. Go on, stretch out to the accelerator.
Right. Back to the story. A little bit later on, Dana thinks they're lost, and Sam just cracks for no apparent reason.
No, he cracks up. He points out that he has been shot at twice already that day, and if he's going to be risking his life, he wants some appreciation. Well, not really. You're not doing a favour. This is
his job.
It's your job, yeah.
And it's a huge overreaction. Anyway, she shuts up about this, and he explains that he does admire what she did, and he thinks it's unfair that the system is making her pay for doing what's right, which pleases her because she hasn't had that impression before.
Yeah, she tells him that Richardson makes her feel like the criminal, which is true, and up until that point, so had he. And so on behalf of Mr. Peter Langley, he apologises. Yeah, again, he thinks that by saying these type of things that it somehow gets him out of his actions. Absolves him of any crime.
That's okay, I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, as Mr. Peter Langley, I will now make love to you. No, that's not.
Not me, not Sam. Anyway, he offers her a truce, and she says, like the one we had in New Orleans. And he says, better, not knowing at all what the one they had in New Orleans was.
And then she concedes that when he had previously indicated that there could have been something between them if things were different, that she also wishes that was the case.
And then she leans in despite things not being different, and just before they kiss, Sam finds the turn off.
Yes, he's at it again. He was about to.
He was well up for that.
Of course he was, yeah.
Elsewhere we see a brief shot of Nick and Andy continuing their pursuit.
We now find ourselves outside this cabin. They walk up to the door, and Sam takes a moment to consider the place before claiming that it hasn't changed. And when Dana asks him when he was last there, what does he say?
A couple of months ago.
He says the summer of 73, and she points out that was just this summer. So he has to change it to 53. I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah. He says he'd forgotten how beautiful it was, and he finds a key, but she opened the door so it wasn't locked.
And he also tries to seduce her again.
Yes, he does. He's wrong. He's a wrong'un.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, you can almost accept it if the other person, I've said before, if the other person is really pushing for this.
Yeah.
Like in, what was the one in the train, remember?
Yes, the one they were just newly married.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it in that one.
He didn't know.
He was against it.
Yeah, what's?
Yeah, anyway, they go inside. She can't find a light, and he puts a lamp on, and she then says that she also wants to be both warm and fed.
Yeah, so she tells him to start a fire, and she's going to go and find some food. So did they not bring anything to this cabin? I mean,
No.
What was the
plan?
What was the thing?
Well, the plan wasn't to come here. This is Sam's plan.
Yeah, it was Sam, but he should have known this. We're going to go to a cabin for.
He didn't bring anything.
We'll stop at a store somewhere and we'll pick up a.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's leaping soon.
Yeah.
Anyhow, she says she's going to have to go and kill a bear or something, and he hopes that the bear kills her.
Before he then he goes into his pocket to get some matches.
Why would you look in your pocket for matches?
Back in the day, maybe more people smoked, so there's a chance that you'd have a lighter or something on you.
He's got this little book of like club matches or something like that from some sort of venue. There's a phone number written on the inside.
And at this point, Al appears and ridicules his attempted shot at Dana earlier on and gives him an update as to why he hasn't leapt yet.
Yes, the time of death hasn't disappeared. It's just been bumped back a little bit.
Yeah, to 4:18 in the morning. And no matter what he does, all it will do is change the time and the place of the death.
It looks like she's heard this, but she doesn't really understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, amazingly, she overhears him say to Al that she was meant to die on the way to Baltimore. I mean, what?
It doesn't click with her at all.
Freaking out.
It just ignores it.
Terrified. You're in a...
Are we meant to assume that she doesn't actually overhear what he's saying?
I mean, she's seen it. I don't know. She hears him talking to someone.
Yeah. Anyhow, she starts talking to him about tinned fish, but Al notes that Nick could well catch up with them earlier than 4 a.m.
Yeah. At this point, he leaves, and Dana tells Sam that she believes they are safe and can relax.
You hate my cooking.
No, I'm not hungry.
I know I've been kind of a witch. I mean, who wouldn't be in my circumstance? But, you made a really great fire. And it's pretty peaceful here. We lost them. We're probably in the safest place we could be.
No, we're not.
We're not.
No, they know we're here.
How could they? We lost them miles
Dana,
back.
don't ask me how I know. I just know that they know.
How could you know that they know? I mean, we don't even have tea leaves to read.
Look, I'm gonna go get the truck, all right? I'll get as close to the cabin as I can. When you hear it, run out.
No.
I'm not gonna argue with you about this.
This is how the girl always gets it in the horror movie. The guy says stay here, then they get separated, and then the monster comes and gets her.
This is not a horror movie. You're right. Let's go.
After this, we get a brief shot of Nick and Andy somehow getting meaningful information from their tracker. And then back to the cabin where Sam can't get the truck to start.
Yeah, just like a horror movie, it refuses to start up. And when it does, he manages to stall it, which does not amuse Dana.
No. He gives her his gun and goes out to check the engine, but she realises that the fuel gauge is broken. It's not half full. He should know that, because they've driven miles since he last said it was half full.
Yeah, you mean in these type of trips, you're constantly keeping your eye on...
Yeah, you were thinking, that's not moved, hang on.
Yeah.
But no, he's not that smart.
But you have to ask yourself, if you're using... I mean, is it just an actual laundry truck that gets used for laundry and they've somehow commandeered it, or is this an official FBI truck that
bulletproof
they use for these missions? Because if it was... These things should be getting maintained, and even in fact, even if it's not, if you're transporting someone, a witness, that should be getting serviced, and mechanics should be running their eye over everything.
You would have thought so.
Yeah, you can't just put them in a piece of garbage.
Yeah. Anyhow, she tells him what's going on, and then chucks his gun, which he fumbles into the water and falls in after. But I think he keeps the gun in the air.
This is a weird bit. He does keep the gun in the air, but then
this is ridiculous. What happens now?
Okay.
Well, is that what you're going to say?
But it looks as if he drops it again.
I think no, he puts it in his pocket, I think, which is wet.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go back in the house, and knowing that they're being pursued by these guys who are almost there, he takes all his clothes off.
Oh, I don't want to get wet.
Hangs them out to dry and runs around in a towel.
It's just crazy.
I don't understand. He's not thought this through, is what I've written down.
No, he's not.
As ever. He's book smart, but he's not got much common sense. Anyhow, Dana brings him a cup of hot water to make him feel better, because there's no tea, no coffee, and nothing else that would flavour the water.
She then spots a photo and asks Sam who it is, and we see that it is a picture of Sam himself, not Peter, actual Sam.
Yeah, with Le Negro.
With the professor. Now, here's the thing, I can't remember, what was Sam's explanation where he's taking her to? She wouldn't know that he would know this person. That's just like a safe house, isn't it? Or did he say it was
I think it's a friend's cabin.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, she thinks that he is cute.
One of them.
And looks the type that she could fall in love with. Really?
She gets into this, I've written here, this is a soppy speech, and I hope it's a clip so I don't have to talk about it.
It's not.
But it's not. Yeah, she goes into a big soppy soliloquy about never falling in love before she dies, and then they kiss. But that moment of bliss is ended fairly promptly when she notices and recognises the phone number in the matchbook.
Now, sorry, let's rewind a little bit here. Yeah, this soppy nonsense. Firstly, she says she's never been in love, and Sam says, well, what about your first husband?
Yeah.
To which she replies that it wasn't love or else they'd still be married.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean, you're in love, then you fall out of love, and that's how it works. She wants to love someone so much that the thought of being without them would be unbearable, and then goes on about his scent and, breathing in his scent in his eyes and feeling a feeling of being alive when she is with that person.
I think she wants to be in a novel. Potentially,
or a movie like Fatal Attraction, because she is a complete bunny boiler type.
Yeah.
Like really obsessive and creepy and freaky and weird. It might sound okay at first, but it'd be like, you're stifling me, stop it.
Yeah, I don't want to be with you every day.
What I noted here is Sam has obviously met his match with her in terms of this sort of love sickness, and that's his. I mean, I think that's his thinking
his
as well.
Vision of love, yes.
Yeah. And as you say, at this point they kiss and embrace, but the potential banging is cut short when she spots the number in the matchbook.
Yeah, so she also recognises that as Nick's number.
Yeah, she calls him a bastard before pointing the gun at him and threatening to kill him.
Al shows up and for some reason thinks she's the bad guy in this situation.
Yeah.
He tells Sam it's okay, the safety's on. So when she tries to shoot him and she does pull the trigger, it doesn't go off. So she runs away. But I think at this point Al and Sam realise that Sam's the bad guy.
Yeah, I think he chases her
for his
towel outside for a moment. Then he returns to put some clothes on while he listens to Al claim that he's never had a girl try and shoot him for making a pass.
Dana runs away as we see Nick approaching, and he starts shooting at her as a topless Sam makes his way towards the scene of the engagement.
Yeah, I mean, and right at this point they work out that the number on the matches is for Nick's private line.
Al and Sam do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they know that he's the villain. So yeah, like I said, Dana's run away from Sam, but she's run straight towards Nick.
Yeah, and Al, I think, points out it's 8 minutes until she's due to die. So we're on this bridge. Nick can't believe his luck.
Yeah.
I mean, he's approaching and suddenly she's just running towards him.
Yes. So he fires his gun but misses.
Well, I think, at first I thought it was a terrible shot as we've seen before, but I think what he says next is he wants to prolong the agony.
And he does shoot her in the arm deliberately.
Sam is not far behind and he hears this. But when she runs back in his direction...
Well, she's just as scared of Sam as she is of Nick at this point. So she makes a beeline for the woods.
Yeah, rock in a hard place.
Literally.
Well, not literally, is it?
Well... Al helps guide Sam to where Dana is.
Yeah, she's off the bridge in the woods.
Andy's trying to warn Nick to leave it till the morning. It's too dark, you'll not find her.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Leave it till the morning. Oh, you'll definitely find her in the morning.
Just wait here.
Yeah, wait for 10 hours. I mean, it'll be a lot easier.
What could happen?
In 10 hours time, it'll be a lot easier to find her. Give her a 10-hour start.
She just sits still for 10 hours.
Shut up.
She's about to go to bed soon.
Yeah, he ignores this terrible advice and he follows her into the woods. Al waits for Sam to catch up and initially tells him that, well, so she's sort of slumped by a tree.
Yeah.
And Al initially tells Sam that she has run out of spunk, only for him to reconsider her spunk level when she manages to surprise Sam and hit him in the head with a branch and then run off again.
Yeah. Andy and Nick keep coming, but Dana gets to, I think, basically a cliff edge and she's kind of trapped.
Yeah, she's facing a drop into some water and lets out a scream when she sees Sam, which also alerts Nicky to their whereabouts.
Indeed. So at this point, Sam breaks cover and just starts talking to Al in front of her.
This is terrible. Okay, so but firstly she threatens to jump, which isn't really...
That's what they want.
Yeah.
Well, she realises that as well.
But
she says that.
He insists he doesn't want to kill her, but worries her further by openly telling Al to go and keep a lookout.
So she says, you're not talking to yourself, you're talking to an imaginary friend. So Sam puts his gun away and says, I'm not going to shoot you. Pete might, but I'm not Pete. What is he doing?
I mean, what do you think that do you think anyone's going to believe and accept this? What is more likely? That you're some sort of time traveller with a hologram friend, or you're just actually a psychotic killer?
Yeah. I don't know. But anyhow, I don't think she believes him, but I think she's just out of options, so she just kind of quits and hugs into him.
Yeah, and for some reason, she agrees to trust him.
Why'd you rabbit on me, Pete?
Didn't know it was you.
What?
The sun blinded me when you pulled up. I thought Richardson had put a tail on us, so I tried to lose him.
Makes sense, Nicky. If you really wanted to lose us, you'd have shut off the beacon.
Sam, shoot him. When you got a chance, shoot him. If you want Dana to live, he's got to die.
You know what I think, Pete? I think she got to you. Did you get to him, Dana? Did you turn him on? You turned me on. Had me doing half the women in Miami pretending they were you. I was like some punk teenager in love. I didn't touch you. I gave you respect. All the time, what were you doing? Huh? What were you doing? Setting me up for the feds.
Shoot him, Sam! Shoot him!
It sounded like lasers.
It did. I'm not sure as well if Nick had to reveal his
Fantasies.
sexual fantasies.
An overshare. Yeah.
Inappropriate, didn't add anything to the situation.
Just so you know, before I kill you,
Yeah, actually.
I've been doing this and I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah, so Nick goes to shoot her, but Sam's too quick. Why he didn't shoot him when he was standing doing his talk?
Well, I'll tell you why, because he wanted him to sort of make the first move. The good guy always has to.
Defensive.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyhow, Andy backs off at this point. He doesn't want to get shot, and he's clearly upset. He goes to his brother, picks him up and says, I told you that God wanted her to live. And they leave.
Yeah, he's allowed to carry him off. I mean...
He's got a very rigid dead body.
What else can you do with him?
I know. Just put him back in the car and just drive off.
It's a long drive.
Drive around everywhere.
I was going to drive back to Boston with a dead body decomposing in the backseat. And the cops are going to see that.
Yeah. Well, they didn't see them with the machine gun, so.
No, that's true.
And then Sam tells Dana they need to stop her bleeding, and once again, realising that she's bleeding, she faints.
Yeah. The next morning.
Yeah, Dana gives Sam the charm that she talked about previously, and he gives her his gun and says, "Shoot me when Pete comes back," which is just bizarre.
No, it doesn't say. It says cover me until...
Keep me covered.
Yeah.
As in, keep me covered. I'm going to turn into Pete and be a bad guy.
Yeah, precisely. So you need to cut until the FBI or the cops turn up to arrest me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't believe him. She says he's crazy, but he asks her to humour him. She, at this point, just thinks he's a nice guy who's turned back to the right side. Anyhow, Al explains what's going to happen in the future.
What's that?
So Pete's going to get 8 to 10 because Dana gives evidence on his behalf, saving him from 15 to 20. She goes back to school, becomes a lawyer, and marries Lo Negro.
Yeah, she becomes a senior partner with Elroy, and Lo Negro. And just then, they're interrupted by the man himself.
They are, and he asks why they're in his cabin. Quite reasonably.
People with bullet wounds.
Yeah. Sam tries to explain to him that their theory worked. It's Sam, he's leaping, but he leaps.
That's going to be an odd one to explain that, isn't it?
Well, I've got a question about that. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
He leaps into a person I think he's in a prison. He's getting beaten up by the cops.
Well, I think he initially is in an interrogation or an interview room. He gets a beating before being thrown in a cell alongside a smirking Native American.
He looks in a mirror and makes a racist remark.
What's that?
He says, "Oh boy, I'm an Indian."
Yeah, that's 1989, isn't it?
I don't think they liked it in 1989 either.
No, but they didn't care back then.
We didn't care.
Yeah, so, I mean,
as white people.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old Washington Redskins and all that type of stuff. That was fine.
Yeah. Well, the other guy there says to him, "It could be worse. You could be a white guy."
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
And that's the end. Sam went to new extremes at the end of that episode there.
Yeah, he needs to be pulled up for this. You cannot start telling people. You cannot reveal the truth here.
No.
The space-time continuum and all that sort of stuff. If you start doing this, it could destroy the world as we know it.
Yeah, and you also mess things up for when you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Wee bit Al light, only showed up 3 times.
That's true. Yeah.
But he was there for the whole of the final act.
We want more Al most of the time.
Do you think Lo Negro got the message from Sam?
I don't know. That's interesting.
They need to come back to it if he did. They can't just leave it.
Yeah. I mean, you would if you were working on that. So your average person, like you tell Dana, right, she's going to think you're just mad.
Yeah.
But if you tell someone who you have been working on this theory, so yeah, if you're working on that, it's like Marty and Doc Brown when you go back and say, yeah,
this works.
Works. You go, okay, fair enough, yeah. So yeah, it'd be good to maybe a follow up. Yeah, maybe Lo Negro, a lawyer, got to tell me the trivia if she's only an episode.
Well, we'll come back to that. Yeah. So we think Dana doesn't believe this. She just thinks he's a little bit crazy.
Of course, any sane person would dismiss it as the ramblings of a madman.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I enjoyed the different setting. I enjoyed the setup. I thought there were massive problems with some of the...
I liked the twist.
The twist was good, yeah. It was a genuine twist.
Yeah. Okay. So it aired originally on the 7th of February, after a bit of a gap, obviously. 1990, directed by Christopher T. Welch. First of 4 Quantum Leap shows for him, although he also directed episodes of the Ferris Bueller and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure TV shows. He's mostly known for his editing work, mostly in dialogue and ADR. He's worked on films like Frozen, Silver Linings Playbook, Clerks 3, which is upcoming, and he remains active. The story was by Paul M. Bellis, second of 2. He did Jimmy as well. You hear more about him on that podcast. Dana was played by Terry Austin, her only Quantum Leap. Already should have been well known at this point from the role that she had on Knots Landing, quite a long-term role there. And she would go on to appear on shows like Murder, She Wrote, Seinfeld and Diagnosis Murder. She's now 65, but her last screen credit was in 2001. Agent Richardson was played by Stanley Brock. This was his only Quantum Leap, and he died of a heart attack at the age of just 59, less than a year after it was broadcast.
I've seen him in a few things. Are you going to see Night of the Comet?
No, I'm going to say Barney Miller, Knots Landing, Murder, She Wrote, and one episode of Sledgehammer.
Yes, I remember.
He was in It Happened What Night. He played Roy Talbot.
He did, yes.
Nick was John Snyder. Again, he's only Quantum Leap. He's a prolific actor. He's been in shows like Star Trek The Next Generation, Babylon 5, Knight Rider, and also done an awful lot of English dubs for Japanese programs. He's now 70, he remains active. And Andy was played by Rene Assah. His only Quantum Leap. He also appeared on shows like the A-Team, Knight Rider, and one Columbo.
Did he? What
He
one?
was an uncredited police officer in A Case of Immunity. So like Jeff Goldblum, he appeared in that one, didn't get credit for it.
Good.
He died of lung cancer when he was just 57 in 2002. So what age was he in this? 12. He would have been 45.
Wow.
The sidekick guy. So you're younger than you.
He's not younger than me.
About your age.
He's older than me.
In the ballpark.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he must have been Andy's younger brother? No, older. Nicky's, I don't know. Anyway, other trivia. FBI agent, obviously, that Sam leapt into was called Langley.
Yeah, that's
and
CIA.
Langley's where the CIA headquarters
yeah.
are. That must be deliberate, yeah.
I thought so, yeah.
The Cabin, previously used in Airwolf, if you watched Airwolf, another Belisario series. Although Dana is supposed to be in witness protection, they only ever use her real name.
That's true, yeah.
First episode of the series where Al doesn't get a costume change.
Okay.
Sam is wearing a calculator watch, but they weren't around till the 80s.
Ah.
Which is a bit
That's
interesting.
more goofs, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe a goof. In terms of things we learned, Sam did a
Sorry, before we get one bit of trivia.
On you go.
It's sort of personalised. So the street at the start of the episode with the shootout.
Yeah.
That I've been on that street.
Have you? Is it a backlot?
It's backlot on Universal. It's the Colonial Street, most famous for recently Desperate Housewives.
It did look quite serious, quite familiar.
Yeah, Wisteria Lane.
Right.
But a lot of movies, I would recognise it most from The Burbs.
Okay. So in terms of things we learned, Sam did his MIT 4-year course in 2 years, developed string theory with Professor Lonegro, and is familiar with Boston. Anything else?
Bit of trivia on the date. So what was it?
Oh, we were going to do this, I didn't look into
Oh,
that.
did you not know?
No, I forgot about that altogether.
What date was it anyway?
September 26th, 1973.
Okay, on that date, Concorde made its first non-stop crossing of the Atlantic from Washington to Paris in a record-breaking time of 3 hours and 33 minutes. And a famous Scottish snooker player was born.
In 73?
Uh-huh.
So that'd be John Higgins then?
No.
Younger? 1, 3, 2, 3,
You won't, yeah.
49. Famous Scottish snooker player?
No, Chris Small.
That's not famous.
I know, I just threw that in there for
Literally nobody watching this has heard of Chris Small.
Yeah, Brian's heard of it.
I've barely heard of Chris Small. Next,
I think he retired with a back injury.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Next week, and we're not getting onto snooker because you'll start talking about Sean Murphy's stomach surgery and stuff like that.
I've not been aware of this.
Oh, it's all over the BBC. He's had his stomach removed.
Today?
So, no, recently he's now lost a ton of weight.
It's just a lazy man's way of doing it,
He
isn't
can't eat
it?
anymore, so he'll never get fat
Cut
again.
my stomach out. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Away from the snooker, next week we have Freedom. Sam has to help this old man that we saw get home to die. So we will see you in 1970.
Until then,
Cheerio.
bye-bye.